Coming up on EagleVision News, Biolans tell us what drives them crazy about the roads in LA.
And we've got the scoop on men's basketball. The players and coach weigh in on this season.
And which presidential candidate has an underwear line? We've got the story. All this and more on EagleVision News. Hello and welcome to EagleVision News. I'm Keri Casey.
And I'm Clarke Finney. Our top story tonight. Los Angeles County supervisors agreed to pay over $8 million to the family of unarmed motorists shot by sheriff deputies. In 2009, deputies in an unmarked car tailed 29-year-old Alfredo Montalvo on suspicion of drunk driving. The pursuit ended when Montalvo crashed into two parked cars after refusing to pull over. The deputies fired 61 times, and a civil jury determined they had used unreasonable force, awarding Montalvo's wife and two children $8.7 million. The payout is the largest in at least a decade for the county and officers involved with shootings.
And Los Angeles Police Commissioner's new president says LAPD shootings have nearly doubled this year, and now he's calling for tactical changes. This year alone, officers have opened fire 45 times so far, compared to just 23 times last year. At a meeting on Tuesday, President Matt Johnson requested heavy analysis of when and why LAPD officers used force in recent instances. Part of the department's goals are reducing LA's crime rate while reducing instances where officers use force. Johnson requested officers carry less lethal equipment like beanbag shotguns and tasers.
After months of animal cruelty allegations, SeaWorld is shutting down all of their killer whale shows by the end of 2016. The San Diego park announced Monday that it plans to completely reinvent the program. After the release of the Blackfish documentary, SeaWorld faced a lot of criticism regarding the care of their animal cast members. Low park attendance has led CEO Joel Manby to lower the park's pricing and communicate its animal care and rescue efforts more aggressively. Although the shows in San Diego are ending, they're still being featured at other locations until further notice.
Eerie bright lights lit up the sky on Saturday and Monday over Southern California. They weren't UFOs, but unarmed Navy missile tests. These planned exercises sufficiently freaked out Southern California residents who thought aliens had finally come to Earth. The test launches were fired from a ballistic submarine in the Pacific Ocean. The lights from the Trident II D5 missile launches could be seen across western North America, with social media posts from as far south as Mexico. These launches are conducted from top-secret locations every year off the West Coast and Florida. The University of California president wants to increase enrollment by thousands of students, according to a proposal released this week. By the 2018 school year, the plan is to expand enrollment by 10,000 students. The UC President Janet Napolitano requested that the school board allow 5,000 more students to enroll next fall. After that, Napolitano is also proposing an increase by 2,500 in-state students for the next 2 years. If the bump up in student capacity is approved, it would increase enrollment by 20% across the 9 California campuses.
And the latest holiday Starbucks cup has been brewing controversy on social media. The cups made their debut late October and faced backlash shortly after. After a video created by former pastor went viral, some customers have been telling baristas that their names are Merry Christmas as a way to trick them into writing it on their cups. In response to the video, Starbucks released a statement stating the company wanted to usher in the holiday with a purity of design that welcomes all of our stories. The franchise is still selling Christmas blends and other holiday merchandise. Okay, so the bread cups controversy is huge.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's interesting that people are freaking out about the bread cups, but you notice that Christmas is starting earlier and earlier every year, right?
Yeah.
With decorations and...
Yeah, it's so funny. I was in a Bloomingdale's store just perusing because I can't afford anything in there. But I was seeing
it was life of a college student.
I know. But it was early October when I walked in, and it was already decked out, and I was like, it's not even Halloween yet. So it started months ago.
Right. I feel like every year Thanksgiving is kind of looked over.
Yeah.
And I literally
totally
see
skipped.
at all the malls like just Christmas bows and boxes and reindeer and decorations, and it's like, where's Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and honestly, I really love Thanksgiving, so I'm bummed that we kind of skip over it. But you know who is not decking their halls early is Nordstrom. They specifically wait till, I believe it's November 29th. So, yay, thanks Nordstrom.
Yeah, that's really cool that they're doing that. Men's basketball kicked off last week. Reporter Morgan Carr takes us to the court to see how our boys are getting ready to dominate.
'Tis the season, that is, basketball season. Biola men's basketball has started off their games this past week and are looking better than ever.
This season we just have a really good group of guys, so I'm looking forward to just working hard and getting closer with these guys and seeing how good we could be.
Well, there's some similarities. We're not as tall as last season, but we have more depth than last season. So I think we have more people that we can play than we did last year. So I think that we'll be able to run more this year than we have lately.
Losing some valuable players from last season, this year Biola has added 6 new members to the team, having a fun new team dynamic, as well as having some new personal goals. Check them out. Coming off of a season with 16 wins and 15 losses, the team is hoping to not only improve their record, but also to be a force to be reckoned with in the GSAC conference.
I want a conference championship. I want to, see how far we can go, have a good season, build friendships, relationships that last forever after we graduate, and just see how good we can do in conference and want to win the title and then moving on to nationals.
Personal goal for me this season is to get a lot of offensive rebound. That's why my team need me. Score a lot of points inside the paint, get better about that and then get confident about it. So that's my goal for this year.
Make sure to catch your favorite team at home on Tuesday, November 17th at 7:30 p.m. This has been Morgan Carr reporting for EagleVision News.
And now Kara Ramey joins us in the studio for a different kind of news update. Kara, what's going on in the world of weird news?
Well, let me tell you. Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders now has his own underwear line titled Bernie's Briefs. A Vermont company launched a side business selling Bernie's Briefs online for both men and women. The business idea originated from Sanders saying that he preferred briefs over boxers on a late-night talk show appearance. The back of the briefs are captioned, "Feel the burn," along with a graphic of Bernie Sanders' face. The underwear is selling at $15 a pair, and 10% of the proceeds are going towards the Yellow Ribbon Fund to help injured service members. 2 stuntmen flew alongside the world's largest passenger airplane at 4,000 feet using only jet-propelled wingsuits. On Wednesday in Dubai, stuntman duo Yves Rossi and Vince Raffet, also known as the Jetman, soared beside an Emirates A380 jumbo jet at 5,500 feet and at speed of 170 knots. The partnership between Rossi and Raffet and Dubai's Emirates Airlines was to help promote the airline company. With months of practice and training, the event went off without a hitch. A suspected burglar crashes through the ceiling of a restaurant in Florida. On Thursday, November 5th, the customers at the Hibachi Grill and Supreme Buffet in Daytona Beach, Florida, were startled when a man fell through the ceiling and then made a run for it. The police officials say 30-year-old Justin Grimes had cut a hole in the men's bathroom ceiling and was crawling towards the office where the money was kept when the ceiling collapsed underneath him. The restaurant employees caught the burglar and held him down until the police had arrived.
Wow, Bernie's Briefs. That's a picture in my head I never really thought I'd imagine.
Exactly, but I mean, $15, what would you guys do?
I mean, balling on a budget, otherwise I totally would.
Yeah, no, that's definitely gas money. Not going to put that towards briefs.
Yeah.
Exactly. Agreed.
Interesting. Thanks, Kara.
Thank you.
And last week, Biola put on its very first Gender, Faith, and Cultural Chapel series. Reporter Jared Hardy takes us there.
This past week, Biola's Department of Student Programming and Activities held another Educational Programming Week, where a topic is chosen based on student feedback, and then a week is dedicated for the discussion and awareness of that topic. For this week, based on a recent survey sent out by the department, Biola students wanted to know more about how our faith applies to gender. This past week, Biola has conducted a series of chapels on the issue of gender, faith, and culture. A variety of speakers have come in to share their views on this issue. The goal of these chapels is to increase the awareness of students and faculty alike on how we apply our faith to the issue of gender that is rising in our culture. Derek Gutierrez, Assistant Director of Student Programming and Activities, was willing to share more about the goals of the chapels this week.
Beyond anything, I think what's been cool for me to see as an administrator who's programming these events is the fact that students are wrestling with the questions and are not afraid to disagree with one another and to dialogue with one another in a constructive manner.
Also, Biola Professor of Theological Studies and one of the speakers this week, Dr. Ron Pierce, told us about his experience with the chapels and his thoughts on them.
I was part of a conversation with Dr. Dave Talley on egalitarian complementarian differences, how we work together and how we agree and how we disagree on that. This week's important because we are facing a fairly significant shift in our culture regarding gender, a better understanding of it, and Biola students and faculty need to be informed to understand what's happening and to be able to speak the gospel and Christ's love into that.
Keeping you updated on campus happenings, this is Jared Hardy with Angeline Wong, EagleVision News.
Reporter Jasmine Rose is with us in studio for a look into crime around LA. Jasmine, what's the latest?
Well, lots going on. A former Disneyland employee pleaded guilty on Friday to multiple felony charges involving lewd conduct. 27-year-old Derek Michael Enciso was sentenced to 1 year in jail and 5 years probation after trying to trade Disneyland tickets for sex with underage girls. In July, Enciso posted an ad on Craigslist seeking girls willing to do the exchange. Huntington Beach police responded to the ad posing online as a 14-year-old girl. Police arrested Enciso at the location set up for the trade. Enciso will be required to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. San Bernardino High School honored a local police officer during their homecoming festivities on Friday. Officer Bryce Haynes of San Bernardino Police Department was fatally struck by a suspected drunk driver on Thursday. The suspect, 27-year-old Archie Green III, reportedly ran a red light near the intersection of 4th Street and Etowanda Avenue. Green received minor injuries from the crash. Haynes, an alumnus of San Bernardino High and former football player, was honored by the school during a homecoming parade and football game as players represented Haynes' number on their helmets.
And our thoughts and prayers go out to the Haynes family. Thank you so much again for the update, Jasmine.
Thank you. Driving around LA can be scary, frustrating, and downright dangerous. Reporter Kara Ramey takes us around campus to hear how out-of-state students are handling the roads.
Driving in the busy LA traffic can be more difficult for some than others. So I talked to Biola students to find out how driving in their hometowns compares to driving in LA.
There's like no such thing as traffic where I'm from, and so like for me, a mile, I assume that's going to take me a minute to get there. So like 15 miles, 15 minutes. But like here, that's like not the case at all. I think a lot of Minnesotans are really good drivers because they have to deal with the snow and like all of the ice and stuff. And I think here, people are pretty impatient and pretty bad drivers from what I've seen.
I think I've definitely become a much more aggressive driver. Definitely more risky, but it's been good. I think I've become a better driver.
And how do you feel about driving in the crazy LA traffic?
Oh, I hate it. I don't drive.
You don't drive at all out here?
No.
Honestly, I think anywhere you go, everyone thinks they know how to drive. They don't. But I'd say definitely in California, people are a lot more reckless. A lot of braking, people speed a lot. Going on the highway is just ridiculous. Just be smart, be safe, and just be attentive because no one else will if you're not.
This is Kara Ramey reporting with EagleVision News.
So daylight savings definitely snuck up on us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is the weather going to be dropping because it's been a little chilly? Are we still getting the same gorgeous sunsets we were getting? Tell us what's going on, Katie.
I'm standing in front of the beautiful Santa Monica Beach. We have the hot pink sunset, the kids playing, tossing that ball around. And over here we have the famous Santa Monica Ferris wheel. That happens to be the only solar-powered Ferris wheel in all of the nation. Fun fact for you, you're welcome. All right, let's look at today's currents. In La Mirada this morning, we have a low of 48 degrees, going into 67 this afternoon and dipping back down to 49 degrees this evening. We had the sunrise at 6:20 a.m. and the sunset came a little early, thank you daylight savings time, at 4:52 p.m. Now let's look at our national currents. All right, as you can see, we definitely have colds coming in. It's going all the way up through the Pacific Northwest and dipping down to the bottom of California. really cool temperatures, except for a little bit down in the southern part of Texas, as well as down in Miami. We see a little bit of the only warm temperatures. All right, let's look at the 7-day forecast. As we see Wednesday, 75 degrees, which also is Veterans Day. And Thursday, Friday, we have lower 80s. Going into this weekend, which we have 80 degrees on Saturday and 75 degrees on Sunday, which is perfect weather. So get ready for the fall weather because it's coming. All right, back to you, girls.
Well, that's all we have for you this week, but tune in next week to see how Biola is growing with No Shave November.
And what happened to those mugs in the calf? We may have some answers for you.
Keep up with us during the week. Subscribe right here on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us at BiolaEV on Twitter and Instagram.
We'll see you next time.